My dear readers, listeners, and of course friends, it seems we stand once again at the precipice of another grand spectacle, though not of the type to which we are perhaps morbidly accustomed. No, this is a spectacle of a decidedly more tragicomic nature, set within the seemingly innocuous confines of the nursing home. Yes, those hallowed halls of repose and reflection, where one might expect the serene twilight of life to unfold with grace and dignity. Yet, as we cast our gaze upon the impending influx of the conservative boomers, those architects of our modern malaise, it becomes abundantly clear that serenity and dignity may well be the first casualties in what promises to be a most undignified siege. Let us not mince words. The silent and the greatest generations, with their stoic resolve forged in the crucible of depression and war, approached their denouement with a certain philosophical acceptance. There was an understanding, perhaps unspoken, that in the final act of life, one ought to seek peace, offer wisdom, and if nothing else, attempt not to be an insufferable burden to those tasked with wiping the drool from one's chin. Contrast this with the impending horde of conservative boomers teetering on the edge of senility, yet armed to the dentures with the same fiery indignation that has characterized their approach to, well, everything. Here we find a generation so radicalized by cable news that they seem primed to convert nursing homes across the nation into their personal battlegrounds. Picture it, if you will, geriatric warriors, their battle cries muffled somewhat by dental fixtures, charging headlong into confused skirmishes against staff, fellow residents, and an array of imagined foes, their Zimmer frames doubling as chariots of fire. The staff, bless their hearts, will find themselves not as caregivers but as beleaguered peacekeepers in an ongoing geriatric insurrection. Trained for compassion, they'll be thrust into the trenches of ideological warfare, dodging not just the physical detritus of their charges, but the verbal salvos of those who've mistaken them for political adversaries, or worse, the incarnate of their most detested news anchors. And what of the other residents, those who sought but a modicum of peace in their twilight years? They, the unwilling conscripts in this farce, will find their final refuge turned into a theatre of absurdity. The halls of what were once sanctuaries of solace will echo with the sounds of Fox News blaring from every room, punctuated by the occasional outburst of someone declaring they've unearthed a socialist plot in the bingo schedule. Let us be perfectly clear. This is not simply a matter of a few disruptive individuals. No, this promises to be a systemic upheaval, a cultural shift that turns these erstwhile havens of rest into hotbeds of confusion, paranoia, and misplaced aggression. And for what? So that in their final demented throes they might relive the glory days of a culture war that no one else is fighting. The tragedy, my friends, is not just in the spectacle itself, but in the profound waste of it all. Here lies the potential for reflection, for reconciliation, for imparting wisdom to the generations that follow. Yet it seems increasingly likely that this potential will be squandered, lost in a fog of senility and stubbornness, a testament to a generation that even at the brink of oblivion refused to go quietly into that good night. In this we find a darkly ironic coda to the boomer legacy, a generation that once aspired to change the world, now content to rage against the dying of the light in the most literal and least dignified sense imaginable. It is a spectacle, yes, but one that elicits not awe, but a profound sense of melancholy for what might have been.